Inside an fMRI brain scanner, researchers discovered a terrifying glitch. Your brain reacts to your 70-year-old self the exact same way it reacts to a complete stranger on the street. When you choose to blow $200 on a fancy dinner tonight instead of saving it, your brain doesn't feel like it's treating you. It feels like it's giving a gift to a friend and leaving a total stranger to pay the bill. This neurological blind spot is quietly sabotaging your money mindset, forcing you to make financial decisions that ruin your future. But there is a hidden mechanism in your brain that can bypass this glitch entirely. And once you flip it, saving money stops feeling like a sacrifice. Most people assume they struggle with saving money because they lack willpower or discipline. The truth is much more unsettling. Your brain is actively wired to betray your future self, treating your retirement as a hypothetical fantasy that belongs to someone else. By the end of this video, you will understand the exact psychological hack to make long-term wealth building feel automatic rather than a painful restriction. And the final step we cover is the single reason most people never escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, no matter how much money they make. But first, we have to look at a groundbreaking study that exposed this neurological betrayal. Professor Hal Hershfield at UCLA's Anderson School of Management wanted to know why we make choices we later regret. He put participants in fMRI machines and tracked their brain activity while they thought about their current selves, a stranger, and their future selves 10 years from now. What he found shocked the scientific community. When people thought about their future selves, the activity in a region called the medial prefrontal cortex plummeted. This is the exact area of the brain that fires up when we think about our own identity and personal goals. But when looking into the future, that region went dead quiet, matching the pattern of when we think about a random actor on television. Think about what this means for your daily spending decisions. When you decide to buy a new smartphone on a credit card, your brain experiences the immediate hit of dopamine. But the person who has to pay off that debt years down the road is, neurologically speaking, a total stranger to your current mind. You are essentially robbing a person you don't know to buy something you want right now. It explains why traditional budgeting advice fails so miserably. You cannot easily use willpower to defend the interests of a stranger. But the real danger isn't just about spending. It's about a deep-seated belief system that was locked into your brain before you even learned long division. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Your current money mindset isn't even yours. Behavioral finance research shows that most adults operate from deeply ingrained financial beliefs formed before the age of 10. If you grew up in a household that experienced a sudden recession, your brain likely hardwired a scarcity mindset. You might feel a constant background anxiety that money is always about to vanish, leading to obsessive hoarding or, paradoxically, impulsive spending because money won't last anyway. You are carrying around a 10-year-old survival strategy, completely unaware that it's running your adult financial life on autopilot. But how do we break this cycle when our biological hardware is working against us? The answer lies in a psychological framework known as construal level theory. This theory explains how we mentally perceive things that are distant in time, space, or social connection. When something is far away, like your retirement 30 years from now, your brain thinks about it in abstract, fuzzy terms. You think about freedom or safety, which are nice ideas but lack any emotional punch. Conversely, when something is close, like a hot, fresh pizza right in front of you, your brain processes it in concrete, vivid detail. The concrete present always wins over the abstract future, unless we find a way to bring the future closer. This mental distance creates what psychologists call an empathy gap. We simply cannot empathize with a person we cannot vividly imagine. It's the same reason we can ignore global crises but cry over a single sad movie character. If your future self is a blurry, faceless concept, you will always prioritize the immediate comfort of the present. Your brain looks at your savings account and sees a black hole where fun goes to die. But what if you could actually meet the person who will inherit your financial decisions? Hal Hershfield decided to test this exact idea by bridging the visual gap. He took photos of college students and used advanced virtual reality and digital aging software to show them realistic 70-year-old versions of themselves. He then asked them how they wanted to allocate a sudden windfall of money. The results were staggering. The The students who looked at their age faces chose to put more than double the amount of money into a retirement savings account compared to those who only saw their current faces. By making the stranger familiar, the empathy gap evaporated, and saving money suddenly felt like an act of self-care. This experiment reveals that building wealth isn't about denying yourself pleasure. It's about expanding your identity to include your older self. When you shift your money mindset from scarcity to alignment, you stop viewing saving as a restriction. You start realizing that money is simply a tool to buy freedom for the person you will become. It is a profound shift from fighting your impulses to acting out of genuine love for your future self. Yet, most financial advice completely ignores this biological reality, forcing people into rigid budgets that are designed to fail. But this next study broke my brain. Making more money does not fix this neurological blind spot. In fact, people who earn high incomes often suffer from the stranger effect, even more acutely, because their lifestyle inflates to match their earnings. They buy larger houses and more expensive cars, convinced that they will start saving later when they make even more. They are trapped in an endless loop of funding a lavish lifestyle for their present self, while leaving their future self with massive debts and zero assets. The stranger in their future is getting poorer, even as their current self feels richer. This is why high-earning professionals often end up broke, unable to retire because they never solved the fundamental empathy gap. To escape this trap, we must first rewrite the money scripts we inherited in childhood. Take a moment to reflect on what you saw your parents do with money when you were young. Did they fight about bills? Did they hide purchases from each other? These early experiences created a blueprint in your subconscious mind that dictates your current financial limits. If your childhood taught you that money is scarce and stressful, your brain will naturally want to get rid of it quickly to avoid the anxiety of managing it. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward reclaiming control over your financial destiny. So, how do we practically apply these scientific breakthroughs to our daily lives without relying on expensive virtual reality gear? One of the most effective methods is a simple psychological exercise. Write a letter to yourself 20 years in the future. Describe your current life, your worries, and your hopes, and ask your older self what they wish you were doing right now. This forces your medial prefrontal cortex to activate, bridging the temporal distance and turning that future stranger into a living, breathing person. When you write this letter, you build a cognitive bridge that makes long-term goals feel immediate and concrete. Once the mental bridge is built, you must protect your future self by taking decision-making out of your hands entirely. Since your brain will always have a slight bias toward the present, you need to automate your savings. Set up your bank account to automatically transfer a percentage of your income to your investment account the very day you get paid. By removing the choice, you prevent your present self from stealing from your future self. You adjust to the remaining balance quickly, and your wealth grows silently in the background while you sleep. This brings us back to the ultimate secret of why most people never escape financial anxiety. The secret is that financial freedom is not a math problem. It is an empathy problem. People who accumulate real wealth are not necessarily smarter or more disciplined. They have simply learned to treat their future self like a best friend. They make decisions today that their older self will thank them for tomorrow. When you look at saving money through the lens of relationship building, the daily temptations to overspend lose their grip on your psychology. You don't need a higher income or a more restrictive budget to change your life. You just need to start showing up for the person you're going to become. The stranger in your future is waiting for you to make the right move today. If you want to dive deeper into mastering your mind and rewriting your financial destiny, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey.